Hi there, and welcome to Lunan Bay Farm. It's Gillian McEwen here, and it's a bit of a change today. We're out of the goat field for a change, so I moved into the kitchen and to do some cooking with goat at home. So it's the goat meat season here at Lunan Bay Farm, and we've had a lot of customers asking us how to cook it at home, what tips they've got and recipes. So this is a series of videos that we've put together so you can try it at home. We've got some really good, easy recipes that anybody can try. Now I'm here with goat meat extraordinaire, Chef Martha Doyle of El Tajín at Home, who delivers restaurant quality, authentic Mexican food direct to your homes all over Angus and Dundee and Perthshire. Mm-hmm. And hails from Mexico, so she knows all about how to cook this staple ingredient here. So, welcome, Martha.
Thank you for hosting us.
Before we get started, just to say, if you want to follow us on our YouTube channel, give us a little follow in the box below, and then you're reminded every time we put another video. So this will be the first of a few different videos that we'll do with all the various cuts of goat meat. If you want to follow along with us and cook, we're not doing this live, but feel free to ask us any questions, and both Martha and I will be sitting on the video when it launches, and we'll be ready if there's anything that you didn't pick up or missed. We'll be able to reiterate that. And of course, if you're looking to buy some goat meat to try out these recipes, we're selling direct from the farm, pre-orders only, whole carcasses and half carcasses butchered down into smaller cuts. But we also are working with Clementines of Broughty Ferry, who are a fabulous little independent greengrocers and specialty shop, and from next week they'll have lots of our goat meat cuts. They've been trialling the burgers and diced goat meat and also the mince, and it's been a real hit so far. So get down to Clementine's next week and stock up on some ingredients, and you can cook along with me and Martha. So without further ado, what is on the menu today, Martha?
Well, Gillian was shocked by this stuffed squash. Mm-hmm. By a popular chef, inspired by a popular chef.
Oh, this was Lloyd Morris, chef from Edinburgh. Yeah.
No, we don't have his recipe. We just inspired by his doing filling a pumpkin squash. So what we're doing with my squash is to do some Durham curry, mm-hmm. mince, and we are not going to put like any other curry. We just are going to add the curry spices to the mince, and then we are going to stuff our squash. Then after that, we finish in the oven. Mm. Yeah. So what we have in here is the curry mix, which is 3 cloves.
Yeah.
Hot paprika.
Mm-hmm.
Cinnamon, cardamom, coriander seeds, and cumin. 1 tablespoon each, only 3 cloves.
And it can be quite overpowdered.
Yeah, if you put too much clove, it will be overpowdered. And we don't want to taste the clove. We wanted to taste the goat enhanced by these beautiful spices. Mm. So what I'm going to do when normal do this is roast everything that is spices. We all the time roast them first, and to release all the aromas comes together. Mm-hmm. So it's what the first step will be doing that. Mm-hmm. So we already did in here.
So you've just put them in a dry pan on the hob with no oil.
In a dry pan, no oil, roast all the spices, and then when they are toast or roast, we grind them. Whether you do in a mortar or in a electric grinder, is the same. It doesn't matter. And so we had in here this beautiful spice that we did with our seeds in there. And apart from that, we need 2 cloves of garlic chopped, and a little slice of onion, again, small chop, And that's all what we need. So I had in here in my pan a little bit of, probably 1 teaspoon of olive oil, or famous olive oil from our friends. And
this one here, Ordeal, great oil from our friends down in Fife that sources from their olive groves in Andalusia. It's another amazing product that we both love to use.
Yes, we love to use that oil. It's very good. It's so good. Well, they have 2 varieties.
Yeah.
One that you can cook with them, and the other one that you can use to your salads or to your dressings.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put this in my pan, the onion and the garlic together, just to sweat them up.
So I often get asked a lot by customers about, like, do I cook goat like lamb? I'm used to cooking lamb at home, and what would you say to these customers who maybe haven't tried cooking with goat? What advice would you have?
It's just a simple rule you can use, because I understand there is no many recipes for goat going on there online. There's no many things to get you inspired, but you can use recipes that you use for the lamb to put it on your goat. But what you cannot do is to cook the goat as the way you cook the lamb. The goat on the bone, like the shoulders, the legs, the chunks, has to be in the bottom of the oven in a low temperature.
Like 120, 140.
Yes.
Low and slow.
For 2 hours to 3 hours until the meat falls apart from the bone.
Yeah.
So there is no waste. It's purely meat.
But there's also some cuts where they can be cooked really quick. Obviously, the mince, that's something that can be cooked really quick when you come in from work looking for your dinner. The likes of the double loin chops, they're really tender.
Yes, the rack bone. That's another very good piece to cook very quick. Braise in the pan, then finish in the oven for another 2 to 3 minutes, because it's a very tender piece of meat, the goat rack. So the mince is a quick dinner.
Yeah.
Sometimes you could do the mix of the ingredients of the spices the night before, and the next morning use your
fresh ingredients.
Yes, and it's just amazing. So what we have in here is a small squash that we got from Westerton Farmers.
The Spud
Hut near Lawrencekirk, and we empty out all those seeds. Now what I did with the seeds, I don't throw away those seeds. I clean them up, I dry them up, and then I toast it with salt, and then perhaps add a little bit of lime and chili, just a nice natural snack.
Just with a glass of wine.
Yes, now we're talking.
And speaking about wine, what wine do you recommend with goat? That's something I've been asked about a lot. So
we have the third amigo in here with us. Today is Marianne, who used to be the mixologist and the restaurant. So she perhaps can tell us about it. How's Marianne?
What would you recommend, Marianne?
I'd probably recommend Shannon a Zinfandel, a Coteron, or even a Chateauneuf du Pape. Those would really go well with the goat meat.
Yep. I think the next cooking demonstration, we need some wine tasting.
We need some wine tasting going on here. Yes,
just to fully immerse ourselves in it all.
Yeah. It's nice. It's part of the culture. It's glamorous to be cooking and having a nice chat with wine. I remember when I arrived to here in the Scotland, and I had nothing to do. Of course, I was looking for things to do, and this lady comes to me and says, "Do you dance?" Of course I dance.
You dance.
Of
course I dance.
Of course I dance. Then so she invited me to teach them in salsa classes.
Okay.
But they, of course, they say they are too left
meat.
So they
Too embarrassed as well.
They need a little
You
bit of
said them.
encouragement. So every night, one of them brought a bottle of wine, and then with the wine, the things were better.
The Latino spirit came out, did it?
Yeah. So in here I'm browning the meat together with the garlic and the onion.
Smells amazing.
So now once that's what the spices affect those the smell, and when you're cooking the meat, the smells go mix before the actual flavors come out from there. So it's just amazing. So here we are going to add our mix of spices.
It's quite unusual to do a curry with mince, and most people would use diced meat and slow cook it in the sauce, but I suppose this is like a really quick way of doing it if you want to make a speedy supper.
Yes, you will be using normally a diced meat or an actual piece of meat. And the reason I'm doing this because we want something quick, something that you can do at home very quick, and this pumpkin doesn't take any longer to cook.
Yeah.
So that's all what we need. And at this point, I'm going to add a little bit of stock.
A little bit of stock?
Yes, thank you.
Sure.
So we're going to add a little bit of stock. So
that's the vegetable stock that you pre-made?
This is not vegetable stock. This is goat stock.
Ah, okay, yeah.
So when I said this before and I say this again. If I'm cooking with goat, I'm using goat stock. If I'm using with chicken, I use chicken stock. Right. If I'm using vegetarian dish, I use vegetarian stock.
So you're just taking the bones and cooking them in water, and do you add any herbs or anything?
Yeah, the herbs are into the stocks, are in the toast or the dish that I'm going to cook. In this case, that stock, because I was using a lot of rosemary in my recipes, it has a little bit the end pieces of the onion, the stalks of the rosemary, the little pieces of garlic that I clean up early. So all of that go into my stock. Also, I use some vegetables that I roast for a previous dish. I keep those ends or the peeling of the vegetables, and I add to my stock. And as I said, I use a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper, black pepper, and that's what that's everything really.
And how long are you cooking that? That's just cooked in the hob with the lid on?
Yes, that's cooking. And once it's boiling, I put it in a low heat, and then leave it boil slowly, just bubbling away for about an hour and 30 minutes.
Okay.
And that's it. We had the stock, and then I pack. I pack
into containers,
into portions, and freezer, or leaving one in the fridge if I'm going to use immediately. And that's a way of preserving and
reducing your food waste.
Yes, reducing my food waste. So to my courgette, my squash, I'm going to drizzle with a little bit of olive oil, not too much, because we don't want a greasy dish. And then put some salt. I'm not going to put some pepper because of the meat already has a lot of ingredients. Also, I'm not going to put any coconut milk to this curry. It's just the curry spices that are in the mince. There is no a proper curry as you will be doing. Why? Because when I start to cook my squash is going to release all their own sweet flavors into the mince, and that is going to come together. I don't want to
liquid.
Add a lot of liquid or to overpower the flavors of the squash is what I don't want to do. So, and I'm going to grab in here this, and I'm going to put this kind.
Just trying to be helpful. All right, Ramsey.
No.
I'll pay for that later.
Never. So we stuff our little courgette. Squash. I keep saying courgette.
There's squash. There's so many varieties of them, and it's something that they weren't readily available until a few years ago. And now, we've got Westerton Farms, the Spud Hut on our doorstep, growing lots of varieties, and then we've got Tormey Fruit Farm down in Fife. I know Ewan and his dad have been growing over 100 varieties, and they're amazing, aren't they? They're just...
It is amazing to see how good product is available to the customer, to the.
It's not just butternut squash, there's so much diversity.
It's not just going to the supermarket and get any squash or courgette from the pile at a pound. No, it's not just that. It's more involved in this product. It's more flavor, and then you can see the labor of the agricultural side, which is very amazing. Now, so I just drizzle again the outside, and I put a little more of sea salt, and then I want to put in the oven this for about 30 minutes and 180 degrees.
Not too hot.
Not too hot, yes, for about 30 minutes, and then we made one early to come together and to get the feeling together of this beautiful squash with the like a real curry. What you can do and have as a side dish with this is to have a coconut curry.
Coconut rice.
Coconut rice.
So that's quite a petite little pumpkin. What about some of these larger ones? We've got a selection over here. I mean, because you don't always see the little ones like that everywhere. They tend to be slightly bigger. If we were to cook something this size, how long would you recommend that you cook that for?
That will take a little bit longer, about 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
Yes, it's so. It was so funny looking for a two size equal squash, and they are gone. They seem to be used as a decoration.
Yeah, a lot of people use them for decorations rather than eating them.
Yeah. So and then we have in here our squash that I make early, and you can see. So like I said, to get the real feel of the curry. What we can do is to put on the side some coconut rice. So you put coconut milk in the pan together with the same equal quantity of a water, and then cook your rice until it's boiling the water. You put your rice, not before, and then when your rice is ready, just put it as a side dish and top it with some fresh coriander and some perhaps spring onions. That will make a real feeling of the curry. But so far, my squash is filled with yes.
Is it dinner time yet?
Yeah. So so far the squash is talking to us. Yeah. And that's why we are staring at this.
So if you have any questions about how to cook this, or any other questions about cooking goat meat, feel free to get in touch. The video for this goes live at 8 p.m. on Tuesday the 30th of October, and you can ask myself and Martha any questions about how the goats are reared and the ethics behind rearing goats, along with any cooking questions you've got for Martha. So we'll be on call. And as I said, this is the first of our series of cookery classes with goat. We'll be hoping to post a new video every few days with different cuts. And if you want to go along to Clementine's and source some of our goat meat, you can get a selection of cuts there, or direct from the farm where we've got half and whole carcasses available butchered. So without further ado, we're going to go and dig into this. But Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again soon.
You can send us your pictures too.
Yeah, that would be good.